Hey guys, so if you're about to purchase that property and you want to negotiate and save some money, then perhaps some of this video might apply to you, okay? So watch to the end. I'm going to explain to you how you might be able to walk away saving a few thousand, a few hundred thousand, perhaps a couple of million dirhams. Welcome back. Look, do what you may with this video. Take it to your agent, your broker, whoever you're working with. The idea is for you to be able to save some money in the Dubai market. If you know somebody who's about to purchase a property and you want to help them out, share this property with them. Remember to hit the like, subscribe, and bell icon. If you want us to help you purchase a property, there's a link somewhere you can get in touch with me and we can start talking and see how we can help you, okay? Guys, listen. When you're negotiating, like I'm not going to get into extreme negotiation tactics and strategies because all those extreme big strategies, they're challenging to really apply. Like, you know, there is this thing that says BATNA, best alternative, something like BATNA, okay? Like, you know, these are used in corporate world. Like, what's best alternative to a negotiated settlement? You're not going to be able to apply that in the real estate market, especially when your heart or your spouse's heart is set on that one particular house or property and so on and so forth, okay? So I'm going to break it down in very simple terms for you to understand, okay? If you want an expert to help you, right, work with us from the start. But look, when you're trying to negotiate, you're trying to negotiate on this. And you're trying to negotiate on this. Okay? Do you understand this? Do you agree with this? You're trying to negotiate on price and you're trying to negotiate on terms. Now, you're going to be probably buying a property either off plan or you're going to be buying a resale property, okay? Now, both of these have different strategies, okay? Resale is different, off-plan is different, okay? Now, what you've got to understand that this is what you're negotiating, okay? And it always varies depending on your situation, okay? So let's pick up the off-plan side first. What you've got to understand that in the off-plan market, there is the tiers of developers. So there is tier 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, and so on and so forth. Tier 1 developers are the big guys, right? The guys who've already delivered 20,000 apartments and more. They could be government developers. They could be non-government developers, okay? Generally speaking, Tier 1, at this current market stage, on price, they don't negotiate, okay? It's very challenging, very difficult for X number of reasons. And you know what, 3 years ago, we could actually get away with negotiation here as well. Now it's not about price negotiation. It's about getting the right unit. Actually, you know what? It's price, terms, and property. Okay, so you want to get the best property at the best terms, best price. But sometimes if you're getting the best property, you're willing to pay a better price and sacrifice on the terms as well. Now, with the developers, it's not so much as the price, it's to get the right property, or we call it in the Dubai lingo, unit, okay? Why the developers have gotten rid of this? Because they like to establish one framework for everybody, because then it becomes like a lot of back and forth. That guy gets a 1% discount, that guy gets a 5% discount, that guy gets a 2%. So there's a lot of variations, and the developers, it becomes very difficult for them to manage the mixed expectations, okay? But what you can get still in the tier 1 are sometimes great offers, such as a Dubai land department waiver or something like that. Just pounce on them. And what you could also negotiate sometimes is better terms, okay? Not all the times, but with tier 1, and there's a lot of shades of gray, you can still walk away with slightly better terms, okay? Slightly better terms. Believe it or not, you can actually get slightly better terms, okay? How you would negotiate. Now, here's the interesting part. When you go to this site, because everybody's not buying from tier 1, this site, boom, for sure you can negotiate. So tier 1.5 and above tier developers, these are the more private developers, you can start negotiating. How do you negotiate? Show the money. Show them that you're absolutely, genuinely real about getting things sorted out, okay? Show them that you're absolutely, genuinely real to getting things sorted out, meaning that you're about to buy something. Make them feel very, very real about the deal. Then put your demands. How you do that, there's templates we use. We use written offers. We use checks we use checks. We use written offers. We add the beneficiary account of the developer into the guy's account and then send them a screenshot that, look, if you say yes to my demands, we're good to go and we're ready to buy, right? But now, what do you ask for in tier 1.5? You demand for a little bit bigger than what you expect to get, okay? So let's say if you're negotiating with them and you think that you could get away with 20,000 or 50,000 dirhams, you gotta ask for 70,000 dirhams, okay? But how you ask is another thing. You ask based on per square foot pricing. You don't ask based on wholesale pricing, okay? So if something is being priced at, let's say, 13 million dirhams, but the per square foot price is 6,000 dirhams, you got to go in and say, look, I have a ceiling of 5,000 dirhams per square foot. But you know that they're not going to come down and drop down because it's a few million dirhams. It's not going to happen. But at least they're going to give you their bottom line because they know that you're coming from somewhere with this figure. Obviously, if you work with us, we'll do the research for you, okay? And then you ask them for discounts. You ask them for DLD waiver, ask them for everything. Ask them for a discount, ask them for a DLD waiver, ask them for a better payment plan. If they got a post-handover payment plan, you can ask them for a longer post-handover plan. I'm not guaranteeing that you'd always get these, especially the current market environment. It is a seller's market, but you're going to try, okay? On the resale side, it's a little different. Again, you apply the same principle. Show them the money. But on the resale side, it actually, like the negotiation starts way in advance. If you got a broker like us, we're going to tell you, like, if you like a property, please don't start telling the other agent who's the counterparty representing the seller, oh, I love this property. There's no other property I loved as much as this. Like, we always train you to just remain calm and silent as much as possible, though sometimes it's difficult. But then when you like that property, look, there's something that you have to do before you put an offer. You got to do some research, okay, on what's available. Then there is research, not just the market transaction data. Like, this is something very interesting. You've got to research the broker and the seller. If a seller doesn't need the money because his worth's $1 billion, but just happens to have decided to move from the country and now wants to sell the asset. It's a big asset, doesn't want to rent the asset out, okay? Like, 50 million dirham villa, he doesn't want a tenant inside it. He just wants to sell it, do something else with his money, but he's a billionaire. He's not going to negotiate with you, okay? You've got to understand. So if you like the property, he'll negotiate, he'll play ball a little bit, but his mindset's a little different. As opposed to somebody who's trying to desperately. So a lot of research goes not just into the pricing, but into the seller and the agent representing the seller. And then if you have this down correct, this is where you actually put a proposal, an offer on the table with paper, money that they can smell to help them bring down their bottom price, okay? Now, if you're being unrealistic with your pricing, you're not going to get the deal, okay? So listen to somebody who can actually give you advice, okay? So guys, listen, quick recap for the shorts guys, not the short guy, but the guy who wants to put it in the shorts. Quick recap, when you're negotiating in 2025 in Dubai, literally, you're focused on price, terms, and the property that you're getting. If you're getting the best property, what about the price and terms? Don't get into excruciatingly complicated negotiation strategies. Understand what the developer, where it is, what it can offer. Understand what kind of developers do offer money, better terms, so on and so forth. If it's the resale market, you're looking to do research, not just the property price, but also on the seller and the agent. And then you've got to put an actual offer with money on the table for them to smell it, to understand that you are serious to give you their rock bottom price. Now, if their rock bottom price is still not good enough for you, then it doesn't mean that you're not negotiating well. It just means that their rock bottom price doesn't meet yours. So either you go and find another seller, which our team can do, or you pay the extra price.